This isn't a channel that asks you to blindly believe. It's a channel that asks you to think. We'll explore spirituality, religion, the occult, psychology, mythology, symbolism, consciousness, and everything in between. We'll question traditions, challenge contradictions, and examine ideas that are often considered too controversial, too mystical, or too taboo to talk about. My goal isn't to tell you what to believe. My goal is to help you ask better questions. Whether you spent years on a spiritual journey or you're just beginning to wonder, is there more beneath the surface? This is a place for curiosity over certainty, discussion over dogma, and understanding over fear. If you're ready to explore the uncomfortable, the mysterious, and the misunderstood, well, welcome to the conversation, honey. I call myself Transcendental Anomaly because I don't fit neatly inside any one system of belief. Disclaimer, this channel is for educational and entertainment purposes only. I am not a licensed professional in any field, including mental health, medicine, or theology. Everything shared here reflects personal perspective, interpretations, and open discussion, not professional advice or absolute truth. I encourage viewers to think critically, do their own research, and take what resonates while leaving what does not. Religious trauma syndrome is described as a pattern of distress related to harmful religious experiences. It's not recognized as a diagnosis. Many understand it as trauma that may involve symptoms similar to anxiety disorders, depression, or post-traumatic stress. The textbook definition of religious trauma syndrome refers to the emotional, psychological, and sometimes physical effects that can occur after someone experiences harmful religious groups. It's generally discussed in the context of experiences such as fear-based teaching, spiritual abuse, manipulation by religious leaders, excessive control over thoughts and behaviors, shame-based messaging, isolation from people outside the group, punishment and experiences, not from spirituality itself. And there are many instances in history where I've seen this happen. Now, when discussing religious trauma, I immediately think of one of the most shocking examples in modern history, the story of Jim Jones. And I remember watching a documentary about Jim Jones when I was a little girl. And I can still remember sitting there thinking like, whoa, like, how could hundreds of people willingly follow one man to the extent that they would give him complete control over their lives and ultimately their deaths?
Just before dawn, a van carrying 50 victims arrived at Evergreen Cemetery. Inside, small pine boxes containing 45-inch steel caskets to be placed in cement crypts. These are the bodies of unidentified children. In place of names, just numbers on the boxes. This is the first of 248 unidentified followers to be buried here. Other cemeteries had refused. The containers were moved into the 60 by 80-foot mass grave, which will have a single marker. Relatives came to watch. Florence Brown's 4 grandchildren were never identified. She said they had to be here somewhere. Freddie Lewis's entire family died in Guyana. Only the older members were identified.
Wife and sister, 2 older daughters. My 2 older daughters are Lisa and Karen. They've been identified already. The other kids hasn't been identified yet.
They may be here.
They may be here, might be on their way. Who knows?
The Council of Churches held brief services. Services they will repeat. 4 more van loads are scheduled here.
I'd assume the people in that video were a part of his congregation, and it's almost eerie how they describe having to identify their loved ones. It's almost like they knew that would happen. Now, Jim Jones was a charismatic preacher and the founder of the People's Temple. Ironically, he initially attracted followers by preaching racial equality, social injustice, and helping the poor. Many people genuinely believed they were joining a movement that would make the world better, but over time, something changed. Now I'm going to show you a clip of one of his sermons to show you how his congregation behaved.
A salutary kiss of greeting to your neighbor. Let's fill this atmosphere with warmth and love.
Now, watching that back, I continuously get this eerie feeling like, oh, Jim Jones slowly became their source of truth, their authority, their community, their purpose, their identity. Followers began surrendering more and more of their autonomy. They were encouraged to distrust outsiders, remain loyal to the group, and believe that Jim Jones alone knew what was best for them.
Now as we meditate, God is love. Love is a healing remedy. We're going to reach out to areas where man has seemed to have difficulty. As we concentrate that the gifts of the Holy Spirit might function, or what the secularist might speak of as the paranormal, let us believe. Let us believe. Sister Ingram, you're concerned about the losing of your sight. You're not able to see me clearly. Things just blur to you. You have to stumble around lately through crowds and are not able to see even people's faces close up to you clearly.
That's true.
You've told me nothing about your condition. Is that
No,
correct?
I haven't.
Give that little sweetheart a little bit of love. Thank you, baby. Peace. Now, take your glasses off. Let's just dare in our faith. We've seen Sister Brown here who was blind, totally healed. We saw one of our sisters blind from her childhood. It could be hysterical blindness, whatever. We're not concerned. She was blind and could not see. Now, look at my face. I'm going to hold up some fingers. You concentrate hard. I love you. The people love you. And most importantly, Christ loves you. What do you see? How many fingers?
3.
One finger. You don't even need your glasses, child. Let's all be thankful as she cries back there. Let's cry and rejoice with her.
Wow, he truly had those people believe he healed that woman's eyesight off of faith alone or some type of supernatural powers. Just imagine, members were isolated from family and friends. Their finances were controlled. Their beliefs were controlled. Their fears were manipulated. Questioning leadership became difficult. Leaving became difficult. Thinking independently became difficult. Eventually, Jim Jones relocated hundreds of his followers to Jonestown, Guyana, a remote settlement presented as a utopian society. However, life inside Jonestown was anything but utopian. People lived under extreme control and surveillance. They endured sleep deprivation, public humiliation, fear and psychological manipulation. Jones frequently warned members that the outside world wanted to destroy them and that death would be preferable to returning to it. One of the most disturbing practices was something called white nights. Members participated in drills where they were told to drink what they believed could be poisoned beverages as a test of loyalty. Imagine the psychological conditioning taking place over time. And by the time the tragedy of Jonestown occurred in 1978, over 900 people died after being ordered to consume a poisoned drink, including hundreds of children. The question I find most fascinating is, could this happen to anyone? To that, I say yes. Most people assume they would never join a cult, yet cults rarely begin by looking like cults. They begin with community. They begin with belonging. They begin with hope. They begin with someone telling you they have the answers you've been searching for. Which brings me back to religious trauma syndrome. What happens when faith becomes fear? What happens when guidance becomes control? What happens when spiritual authority replaces personal discernment? Religious trauma doesn't only happen in cults. It can happen anywhere. People are taught to fear questions, distrust themselves, or surrender their autonomy to another person or institution. I believe one of the most important spiritual practices we can cultivate is discernment. No spiritual leader should ever replace your ability to think critically. No religion should ever replace your ability to think critically. No religion should require you to abandon your humanity, and no belief system should make you afraid to ask questions. Have you ever felt pressured to ignore your intuition or critical thinking in the name of spirituality or religion? I promise this is a safe space. I'd love to hear your experiences in the comments below. Always receive every message with discernment. Question it, explore it, research it, sit with it. Thank you for spending time with me today. If this conversation challenged your perspective and gave you something to think about, be sure to like, subscribe, and share this episode with someone who's ready to question the narrative. New episodes every Saturday where we'll continue the conversations most people are afraid to have. Until next time, stay anomalous and never stop seeking understanding.